Hello, this is Ron Paul with your weekly update for Monday, May 11th. A Fresno, California waffle restaurant dared to open its doors for business this weekend to the delight of a long line of customers who waited up to 2 hours for the privilege of willingly spending their money in a business happy to serve them breakfast on Mother's Day. This freedom of voluntary transaction is the core of what we used to call our free society. But in an American paralyzed by fear, ramped up by a mainstream media that churns out propaganda at a level unparalleled in history, no one is allowed to enjoy themselves. Thankfully, everyone carries a smartphone these days and can record and upload the violations of our basic constitutional rights that are occurring more rapidly by the day. In the case of the waffle restaurant, thanks to a cell phone video, we saw the police show up in force and try to push through the crowd waiting outside. An elderly man who was next in line to enter was indignant, complaining that he had been waiting 2 hours to eat at the restaurant and was not about to step aside while the police shut down the place. The police proceeded to violently handcuff and arrest the man, dragging him off while his wife followed sadly behind him in the police car. So much for taking his wife out for Mother's Day as the coronavirus tyranny continues to expand. It is hard not to be disgusted by government enforcers who would brutally drag an elderly man away from a restaurant for the crime of wanting to take his wife out for breakfast on Mother's Day. A virus far more deadly than the coronavirus is spreading from Washington down to the local city hall. Tin-pot dictators are ruling by decree while federal, state, and local legislators largely stand by and watch as the U.S. Constitution they swore to protect us go up in smoke. First, we were told we had to shut down the country to flatten the curve so that hospitals were not overwhelmed by coronavirus patients. When most hospitals were nowhere near overwhelmed and, in fact, were laying off thousands of healthcare workers because there were no patients, they moved to the goalpost and said, we cannot have our freedoms back until a vaccine was available to force on us or the virus completely disappeared, neither of which is likely to happen anytime soon. Many politicians clearly see the creeping totalitarianism but lack the courage to speak out. Thankfully, patriots like Shelley Loser are demonstrating the courage our political leaders lack. When Patrick Henry famously said, "Give me liberty or give me death" in 1775, he didn't add under his breath, "unless a virus shows up." If we wish to reclaim our freedoms, we will have to fight peacefully for them. As Thomas Paine wrote in 1776, "These are the time that try men's soul. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman." Thanks for calling this update. A new update is placed on this number, 888-322-1414, every Sunday.